Okay.
Yes, I could do the long way around.
Okay, ready?
We're ready? Yes.
Hi there, my name is Tresia Thompson, and I'm from Shelf Reliance, and we sell freeze-dried food and survival gear. We do home parties, like the Tupperware party, but I prefer to come to groups like this and just show what I have made up as an emergency bucket. I help people prepare from everything from tornadoes for 72 hours to the zombie apocalypse. And I have customers and people that I go to that I just teach them how to buy a little bit of food every month, and we go all the way out to a year of storage and a year of food storage, and I can teach you all that. On my website, there's a lot of helpful tools that you can use to do food storage, just a 72-hour kit, whatever you need. And my website is www.bugoutstore.com, and that takes you to my Shelf Reliant website. What I'm going to show you today is a 72-hour bucket. I have one of these buried in my yard. You can use, according to how big your family is, this is for a family of 4. You can use a 5-gallon bucket if it's one person, or you could use a 6-gallon bucket like I have here. This year I've taken it a little bit further after seeing what happened to the people of Hurricane Sandy, or Superstorm Sandy. They had to go longer than 72 hours without food. So what I'm doing this year is I'm taking another bucket, I'm putting more water in there, I'm putting a little pan and spoon in there, and I'm putting a lot of freeze-dried food in there. And the pouches, and somebody can show me a pouch here. And I'm doing some meats, vegetables, rice, things like that in here. So if we have to go longer than 72 hours, we can at least get a meal, and oatmeal, things like that, because they went longer than 72 hours with no help. And if we had a big disaster here in Indiana, I believe that's what would happen here. So I'm just going to show you what I have in this bucket. Like I said, this is for a family of 4. You can customize it any way you like. Starting out with, this is a little water filter. This is a personal water filter. And when you take, I leave stuff in these, you wouldn't want to leave your stuff in here, but just to show people it's easier. This is a little personal water filter. You can take this outside. It will take out 99% of bacteria and in your water that you find. Or if you've got water storage you're not sure about, you can use one of these. If you're hiking, you want to drink out of a stream, you can use one of these little straws. I also have in here, these are called Millennium Energy Bars, and they come in all different kinds and flavors. And these are good for kids because they're fruity tasting, and they're like a granola bar, but they have 1,200 calories in them. So you could substitute this as a meal, no problem. These run about $1.29 each. This here is a little wing stove. You get about 30 minutes for each one of these little tablets, and it will hold up to a pound, so you can put a small pot of water on this. And it's so compact, you just open it up, put your thing under it, light it, and it will burn for about 30 minutes. It will bring water to a boil. And a lot of this stuff is just mixed up, so I'm just going to kind of pull it out. These are emergency sleeping bags. They're made of Mylar, but they fit very good in here. Like I said, if you take the stuff out of the boxes, you have a lot more room in here. This is a day's worth of food. This has 3,600 calories in there. This is like a really dry granola bar, but if you're hungry, you have no other options, this will get you through the day. Kids don't really like them, and I tell everybody, if you're going to feed your kids this stuff, make sure that they've tasted it before and they're used to eating it. That's why I prefer these for the kids, because they're just a little bit more flavorful. Like I said, this is like a really bad granola bar. I put some of these Gatorade Performance Pre-Fuels in here. Got a couple of those in here. I have, this is a multi-tool kit. It's got a little knife, and it's got some pliers in there that you can use with the little options. It's really nice, this little case. Paracord, never leave home without it. Like I said, this is really messed up because I'm trying to get as much in here as possible. This is camp soap, just so you can wash your hands if you have water available. You don't want to use your drinking water to wash your hands if you can all possibly do it. I put some granola bars in here. Worst case scenario, the kids can eat those. Toilet paper. This is an emergency flashlight that you can crank so you don't have to worry about batteries. Pair of gloves, because you never know what you're going to be in, what you're going to be picking up. I have emergency blankets in here. These are Mylar. These will hold your body heat, and they're excellent. You'd be surprised how warm you can get. Toothbrushes, because you really think about your hygiene when everything's been destroyed. This is a solar crank radio, and you can charge your cell phone on it. You can get the emergency broadcast channels on it. It also has a light that you can crank. So this is a nice little thing.
Where'd you get that one at?
My company sells these. They have a different kind now. Pretty much everything I'm showing you right now, if you don't see it at the store, you can get it through the company. And we're very reasonable on prices, like toilet paper is 35 cents. More sleeping bags, more Mylar blankets, feminine pads. You know what you use them for, but they're excellent for wounds. If somebody gets hurt really bad, they soak up a lot of blood, and they're very good to have in an emergency kit. This is a little tool. It was $1 at Harbor Freight, and I just figured I'd stick it in here just in case I might need something on. There's a little ruler, there's a little saw, things like that. This is gloves, and these are little sand wipes, in case you need those. Hand sanitizer is always good. More toilet paper. Never have too much toilet paper. I laughs at me because I have about 10,000 rolls. This is tissues. These are rain ponchos. You get these on our site, the bigger, heavier ones, but I got these, I think, at Dollar Tree for $1, or at Walmart. Rain poncho, more food, bug spray. Sunscreen, you're going to be out in the sun all day, you don't want to get sunburned. 3 days worth of supply of any medications that you need if you're diabetic, high blood pressure, anything. I say 3 days in here. Some aspirin. Another Mylar blanket. More granola bars. Another Mylar blanket. This is more food. Garbage bags are wonderful. You can always catch water in them. If you wanted to make this into a toilet, you could if you got a garbage bag, if you absolutely had to. So garbage bags. Toothpaste, lip balm, and an extra key to your house and your cars. Because if you're going to leave quickly in a tornado, you want to have some keys somewhere else. If your house gets knocked down, you want to be able to get into your cars or whatever. Duct tape, never leave home with that duct tape. An axe in case you have to chop your way out. This is part of my fire. I have 3 or 4 different ways to start fire because I never know what's going to work, how wet I am, what I have to start fire with. 9-volt battery and steel wool works great to start a fire. I have waterproof matches, I have a flint, a little bit of freeze-dried food in here. Yeah, another thing of broccoli. Baby wipes. Baby wipe shower is better than anything. About 16 years ago, we went 9 days with no power, no water. And luckily, I had 2 pregnant girls that had baby wipes. And they're little layettes, and they came in very handy. Something to entertain everybody with. This is a deck of cards called Don't Die Out There. It's survival quiz, like, it's like a, what do they call it? Just play and it asks you questions, a deck of regular cards. If you got kids, you might want to add crayons, coloring book. Well, crayons won't melt, maybe some markers or coloring books, paper, pencil, dice, anything to keep entertained, because if not, you get on each other's nerves and you want everybody to be happy. This is my battery for my steel wool. Remember, never keep your steel wool and your battery, keep them separate. Don't put them together with a granola bar. More food. More granola bars. And somebody took my dog food out of here. I have freeze-dried dog food. It's in a little pack like this. It's about 3 days for a dog. You can get it for a cat and a dog leash. Because you want to keep your dog near you. They're going to be your security. So you can sleep a little bit, and you want to be able to feed them. You don't want to have to give your dog your food. And another thing I have down here is 3 days worth of drinking water. These little pouches. We sell these. They're 23 cents a piece. And you can put as many as you want in here. Like I said, if you got a baby, you want to, put some baby stuff in here. If you got toddlers, you want to. They have those new little applesauce things you can get. It's like in a little gel type thing like this. But you want to make sure your kids know what they're eating. They're used to it. And you bury this in your yard. And you can even go further and put a water filter in there. We have water filters that will filter any water from the storm, the toilet, storm drains, wherever, and it will take 99.9% of all the bacteria out. They're called Sawyer water filters, and it's a bucket system. They guarantee you 1 million gallons of water. My son took them to Haiti after the tsunami, earthquake, I can't remember what it was, a couple of years ago, and he tried them out there. That's where we found out about them. Our company just started selling them because they are wonderful. He said he could take the dirtiest water over there, and sometimes, he said if it was muddy, he had to put like a sheet around it and drain the mud out, but he said that water came out clear. And it's 1 million gallons, you can't even store 1 million gallons of water. And what I would suggest to people is get Google Map, because when things get really bad, if you don't have a lot of water stored, which it's hard to store water, get Google Map and find out where all your little creeks and little ponds are, so you know where to go. And just remember, a lot of people are going to be using those, but you can use swimming pool water, you can use toilet water, you can use anything you can get your hands on. As long as you got a good water filter, it will filter it out, because water is going to be the first thing to go. And I have several of these everywhere on my property. Plus we got a pool, so I got the water filter, so we're good to go. But you want to have something so that you can get your senses going after a tornado. Because it's going to take you a few hours even to get, like, okay, I need to do this, this, and this. But this offers you food, water, shelter, and fire, which is everything you need in this bucket. And what I did was I took this bucket and I buried it in the ground. I went about that far over the top. I dug about that far deeper, and I put dirt over it in my garden, away from my house. So if something happens with our house, it collapses, at least we have this for now until we get help. Like I said, this year I'm doing one better. I'm going to take a bunch of these freeze-dried packets, and I would get like boxes of chicken stock and boxes of like V8 juice, and you can make soup. You can make coffee. The little stove, you can do a lot. And
How do you keep it from getting spoiled?
this here, none of this will spoil. Everything's good. These foods are good for 25 years. These here, I've had this in here for a year and it's still soft. I say 5 years, change your food out. And you really could go to 6 or 7. Just change everything out. You can use it up. But this bucket has what they call a gamma lid. It fits down on there and it's got a gasket. And it's got another gasket around here. So when you screw this on tight, this is waterproof. Somebody could stand on this and it wouldn't hurt it. And you just put it in your garden or your flower bed and just forget about it. Or if you don't have that, keep it filled and grab it. And another thing that we found out, I talked to some people from Henryville when they had their tornado, and they said they'd had something like this, everybody would be so much better off. Plus the one thing they said that people didn't grab was shoes. So think about shoes, because you don't want to get cut by glass, even if it's flip-flops. If you've got room, get some flip-flops out of your house. At least you got something on the bottom of your feet. They said so many people was without shoes, and that was the biggest thing. And I thought about that, when we've had tornado warnings, I don't tell everybody to put their shoes on. Now I have started that. But sometimes you don't know, you wake up in the middle of the night and you have to leave quick. So if you've got some shoes in another location, flip-flops, tennis shoes, whatever, he said that would have made a big difference because there was just so many people without shoes, which you don't think about. you know, you get warm with the blanket and everything, but definitely, shoes is one thing to think about. Anybody got any questions?
What's your website again?
It's bugoutstore.com.
And your information is here, okay.
Information on there. I do have a list. I'll give it to you. I guess you can post on your website. It's just, you know, you don't have to go verbatim what's in the bucket. You want to personalize it. You want to make sure that your family, if one person could go with a 4 or 5 gallon bucket, but you got to make sure you have these gallon lids on it. You know, and you could do 6 days if it's just one person in a big bucket. But with our family, in fact, we have a big family, so we have 2 of these because we have 10 people in our family. So we have 2 of these buried, but I'm going to do the food and the extra water with a pot. We can all eat with the same spoon at that point, I don't care, but whatever I can get in there. But you see all the stuff I get in here. I usually have a first aid kit. I rated it for another show, I'm sorry. I usually have a first aid kit, and I usually have my water filter here, and it will all fit. You just have to make sure everything, you know, you just got to play with it and get it all fit. You can go bury it in your yard or keep it handy. And I would not put it in my car because you might not be able to get in your car. Bury it as far away as you can. I know we had a hurricane one time and we couldn't get out of our house. We lived in North Carolina because all the streets were blocked with trees, and it was like 4 days before they got on where we could even drive away. So if you got relatives you can go to, you might not be able to get there. So you got to think of that. This is what I'm going to do. Any more questions? Thank you. I hope I didn't talk too fast.